Thank you, everybody, and good morning. I'm so glad to talk about a very important topic to an august forum of leaders and practitioners in this room. I'm sure you all are associated with driving AI-led transformation in your businesses. So for the next 10 minutes, I am going to talk about a single most critical challenge, which is ROI for AI. Massive investments are going into driving AI initiatives, but how do we get to prove the return? How do we get from investments to impact? Can I have the clicker, please? Sorry. So, how do we get from investments to impact? So the headlines today paint a picture which reflects high aspirations, but also hard realities of the AI journey. MIT study has almost shattered the Gen AI hype. Forbes is asking a very direct question. Why do 95% of AI projects fail? New York Times is more straight or more steady, I would say, in saying that companies are putting massive investments in AI, but they are still to pay off. So the point is that how do we get to calculating or getting a point of return, because it clearly indicates a divide, AI divide, which is the promise of AI and the challenges of how we implement the AI in our enterprises. So, how do we get there then? At Active, we believe that to get to the point of measurable ROI, we have to connect three key pillars which will get us to the ROI. First, we have to measure adoption. And I would take a clue from the earlier presentations that happened in the day, what Shalini ma'am presented and what Shashwat also presented, that value is a very key element, adoption is a very key element of how you drive AI in the enterprise. Unless you know what people are doing with AI, where are they using it, how are they using it, it's very important that that aspect is measured such that we know what is getting used and what is not. Then we have to also assess the consumption of AI. This is a bigger perspective, this is a larger, at a larger scale of process. You may have several tools that has been enabled for employees today or users today. But which of them are getting adopted the most and which of them are not so much adopted? Because the ones that are getting adopted the most is where is what is going to drive the higher value from the investments that has been made. And for the ones that are not being adopted so well, we need to find the reason. It could be an intent issue, it could be an understanding issue, or it could be a skill issue as well. And finally, we have to map adoption and consumption both into the transformational value that this is driving for the process or for the organization. So how do we get there? The approach was the what, and let's talk more about the how. So how do we get there? At Active, we believe that this has to be a data-led approach, and there has to be a platform-led solution to get to the point of how do you map returns to your investments. We have built a platform specifically with this focus, primarily giving you the ability to decide or helping you with insights to decide what area should be invested in and how much it should be in, for what value it is going to be invested for. So our platform is, at the core, it's an architecture which is cloud agnostic. It can go on to any cloud that you have, which is primarily, I'm saying, is that it can cohabitate with your enterprise architecture. So whichever cloud you are, whether it's be Google, whether it be Azure, whether it be AWS, or for that matter, any other cloud that you are following, it can very well stay on that. It can stay closer to the enterprise data or the enterprise systems and processes. On top of it is the tech layer. This is where the AI as tech lives. We have chosen the best fit technologies to drive the discovery of this data from an adoption and consumption perspective, from building the data flows and data pipelines, and also visualizing this insight to the users. And it can, so we are not wanting to lock enterprises into tech. So hence it can work with the models that you are using already. Maybe it's OpenAI, Llama, or any custom model that you have. So it can cohabitate with those models. And at the top is what the active solution is, where we enable digital telemetry to gauge the data from people, how they are using AI, how they are adopting AI, where they are using it, and why, if they are not, if the AI capability is not getting used, why is not getting used. It also maps the tech utilization, because AI at the core of it is technology, and the tech utilization has to be understood very well, because even the best of the tech, if it is not adopted well, is just expense. Then we use a lot of process mining and task mining to analyze this data and create insights out of it, correlate all this data together, and use an opportunity scoring model which actually paints a picture of which are the areas where AI can be put and what kind of AI can be put. For example, in a typical invoice processing, let's take an example of, a lot of invoice processing is automated on SAP, but then the invoice process doesn't happen completely on SAP. There's a lot of emails also used, there's a lot of Excels also used. So if 100 people are in the process and they are using this, naturally Copilot stands as a very good candidate. But the opportunity scoring model, what it gives you is that, yes, this is the most suitable tech, AI tech that can fit into this task, but it actually also tells that what kind of value it can generate. If people are spending on an average, let's say 700 hours in a week on this process, by putting Gen AI, you can optimize that effort by, let's say, another by 100 hours or 120 hours. By doing email summarizations, by doing the commentaries that they may have to put while they are doing those invoicing processes, just an example. So that is the tech. But all techs need a roadmap of implementation as well. So we have a 4-stage implementation roadmap that has to be followed. And like I say, AI is not a product, it serves as a product. The service has to go in first, So we use the tool to discover the data across people, process, and the technologies that has been put in place, map the workforce efforts, and see the utilization of tech, identify are there process risks which could infer or which could impede the adoption of the AI. Then the platform also gives the capability to digitally analyze which are the high-value use cases. Or for that matter, it helps you create a roadmap of high-value use cases, near-term use cases, and long-term use cases based on the value that it will generate. It also gives out the right fit technology technology landscape, which is like which AI tech should fit where. And as it is doing, for you to decide, it also using certain enterprise parameters of how you calculate value for your initiatives. It can also paint a picture of what kind of business impact that it can create. Finally, decide is an important aspect while you are traversing this roadmap. And this is not a platform which throws out a 100-page report for you to analyze, but rather it creates the roadmaps out of the system itself, which you can assimilate into your strategies that you are planning for driving the AI roadmap based on how you want to prioritize the initiatives. And we also drive execution. We bring in the expertise, we bring in the right tech partners to help you drive experimentation of these opportunities, such that you can get from experimentation to execution faster. Now, the platform also has the ability to create the prompts or the code. For example, let's say if you are doing agentic automation, how do you create, because it already knows how the task is being performed, it has the ability to create the code as well, which can be then used. Obviously, the code has to be taken into the native agentic platform wherever you are doing the agentic. For example, if it's 𝗖𝗢𝗡 or if it's OpenAI Studio, it can generate the code for that, such that the people who are executing in your organization can accelerate that execution faster. So it's a platform-led approach which actually takes the guessing out of the whole ROI objective. No more guessing. Base your decision of prioritization, back it up with data. And if you are choosing an initiative or an AI roadmap, support it with what actually happens in the organization at a people level, at a process level, and also see it from the perspective that if you have already made investments in AI, what is working, what should be optimized, or what need to be brought into the enterprise. So that's my 10 minutes. Thank you so much for listening to me.